What up, y'all? What up? Daniel Augustin here, and really just want to respond to one of the comments on one of my previous videos, the reaction video that I had to the Florida Gators and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. First, I want to just say that I'm appreciative for every comment. No matter what you say, I'm ultimately glad to be building a community. So now let me just read this comment, and then I want to get into my thoughts. Bert Fravisi, 3350. I'm going to go ahead and just say Bert, just in case I messed up the last name. Bert said, maybe putting too much gravity on the optics and dynamic of football in the state of Florida with the loss to UCF. Having said that, we are quickly falling into obscurity, and I'm sick of it. And for those of you who maybe didn't hear it, my previous statements were that, if the Florida Gators lose to UCF, which I think they will, I think it will damage the program's brand dangerously. And Bert commented this. And Bert, I just want to say thank you for your comment. Thank you for your opinion. And now I'm going to respond honestly, respectfully. I don't know if you've played football before. Maybe you did. Maybe you played in high school, little league. Maybe you played in college. Maybe you played in the league. But if you played in college and if you played in the league, I don't think you would have commented that. Because it matters who you play and it matters how you play. It matters who your coach is. It matters so much who your coach is even that NCAA 25, the video game by EA Sports, have a part in the game where you can actually be the coach of the team and you can make your pitches to athletes. Every single game is essentially the entire season is a campaign. And every single game, in my opinion, let me rephrase that. Every single game is like a rally. It's like a rally. It's like Trump, Kamala Harris. It's like they're showing up at a rally, at a press conference, and they are showing the voters, the Heisman voters, the playoff voters, they are showing them their policies. They're showing them how they play. They're showing them how they show up. Don't mind that deep breath. My son is attached to my chest right now. They're showing them how they show up, what kind of team they are, what kind of team they aren't. There's a saying in politics, people turn 18 every single day. Every single day. They have swing states. They have swing voters where, depending on how these people decide to vote, can sometimes determine an entire election. Because, yeah, sure, certain states are essentially almost guaranteed to go red, almost guaranteed to go blue. But then those swing voters, man, they make a difference. And now all of a sudden, Trump he's campaigning in the battleground states, even though they haven't voted red in a while. And he's trying to get Pennsylvania, and he's trying to get North Carolina. He's trying to go get that one athlete who will make a difference on his team's roster, and vice versa. This is not something that I said because I'm a Florida Gator fan who just wants them to do well, and I'm so distraught by how poorly they're playing. This is something that I said because it's true. Athletes are like new voters every single day. Athletes' decisions can sway based on not just how well that team has done in the past, but how well they are doing currently. People can forget about your program's lore within a matter of weeks because you have not been showing up and showing out. And because this other program is all of a sudden seeming like a brand new powerhouse, because all of a sudden this new program has a brand new coach there who is bringing lore from Auburn. Gus Malzahn coached at Auburn. Now he's coaching at UCF, whereas Billy Napier coached at Louisiana Lafayette, and now he's coaching at the University of Florida. Billy Napier is coaching in a program, in a conference that he's not really prepared for. Never really been in this program before, except under Nick Saban. Riddle me this. Why is it that when Nick Saban, and matter of fact, I got a clip from Gus Malzahn that I want to play. Riddle me this. Why is it that when Saban got to Alabama, they became the powerhouse of the SEC for basically the next 10 years? Why is it that barely anybody in the SEC was able to challenge Alabama? They were throttling opponents. It's not just because of Saban, but He's a big reason why. Their program winning is a big reason why. And their program winning is also another reason why athletes decided, I want to go to Alabama because I'm going to be on the brightest stage that there is. I'm seeing athletes get drafted from Alabama to the NFL 2 a year, 3 a year, 4 a year, and they're starting right away. Something that Saban is doing, something that's going on in the Alabama program is going to get me ready for the NFL more than any other school can right now. So you know what? I'm going to go to Alabama. You got some athletes who, of course, they're going to say, yeah, well, I'm going to go to Georgia. I'm going to go to Florida State. I'm going to go to Miami, so on and so forth, because they either want the challenge or because that's the school that they've loved so much, or because Alabama can't take them at this time, or because there's so many other athletes going to Alabama, they're not going to get a chance to play until their junior or senior year. But there is a domino effect that happens with every single game, every single one of these rallies, every single press conference. Just like how after a presidential debate, people are putting out new polls, almost like the AP poll, and they're saying things like, well, Trump seems to be up now 5 points in Georgia. Oh, he's down. There's a domino effect. These things change. There are swing voters. There are swing states. There's a guy named Charlie Kirk. He's one of the most prominent conservatives who have a YouTube channel of over 2 million subscribers. And he goes on tours to different college campuses where he speaks to young college students, 18 years old, 19, 20, 21, 22, people who have been ingrained with the idea that they are a Democrat because that's the way their family voted. And he goes over there and he talks to them about being a conservative, what it means, and so on and so forth. And he tries to convert them so that they can switch from Democrat to conservative. Nothing is guaranteed in college football. Things change year round, especially now that there's NIL. Especially now that there's NIL. Because of the NIL part of this, and that's part of the reason why I made that quote, that statement last week in my last video, you don't necessarily need to go to a school that's got all that lore. You can just go to a school that's going to pay you more. And if UCF is throttling teams like the University of Florida, plus they got Colorado coming up this week. If they beat Colorado, you know, I know Colorado's not ranked, but Colorado is one of the programs that is drawing in the most attention right now from athletes, from TV viewers everywhere, pundits everywhere. If they beat Colorado, all eyes are on UCF. People aren't even paying attention to them. And I'm from the state of Florida. I'm from Florida, and I have witnessed recruiting in Florida. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it. So it makes a huge difference what's going on in your program and your program's results. UCF is in the Big 12 now for the first time. So they are already on a different level. They're not just a regular college in Florida. They are a team they are a program that has been building year in and year out. That program has grown. They have an opportunity to not just get into a bowl game this season. They have an opportunity to get into the 12-team playoff and potentially win a championship. The Florida Gators only got but 3 championships. Can you imagine a situation? I don't see UCF winning the championship. Let me just be clear. But can you imagine a situation where UCF won the championship this year, or at least went to the playoffs? People are going to be looking at them as one of the last 12 teams that were standing, not at the University of Florida. People are going to start looking at Florida like, oh, yeah, you were the party I used to vote for. We'll see whenever that's going to happen again. Some of these schools, I mean, listen, there's a domino effect. There are swings and momentum. There's momentum swings that happens. I mean, the University of Miami, they weren't good for years, man. It's been over a decade since they really were competing. And now, you know, they got the quarterback, they got the team, and they absolutely, in my opinion, are going to be in that 12-team playoff this season. Maybe not next year. If they can't get another quarterback that can really control the tempo of the offense like Cam Ward can, then I don't see that. But they got it this year. But the past 10 years or so, where they been at? Who were they? The Gators are experiencing that right now. And I'm telling you, I didn't just say that just to say it. Listen, man, it's serious. These campaigns, these rallies, these are serious events. Every single game. When the Gators played against Miami, everybody was watching it nationally. Everybody nationally saw the Gators get their ass swamped by the Hurricanes. That changes the way young athletes think when they go back to school. When all of a sudden they're getting recruited, it changes the way the coach can recruit. It changes the way the coach can pitch himself to the athlete. Because now the coach can just be like, you saw what we did to the Gators. You want to go to the Gators? Listen, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know who their next coach is. And then if the Gators fire Billy Napier, hopefully they do, who knows how many athletes leave that school to go to a better program. Domino effect. It's real, man. It's real. So no, I'm not over-exaggerating about the state of flux the University of Florida is in. That is no joke. That is a very serious business. It's very serious. I want to play this clip from Gus Malzahn, the head football coach at UCF. I want to play this clip from his press conference.
Coach, there's been so much talk about the hype of this game with Coach Prime and Big Noon kickoff, and both teams are 3-0, big 12 game. Have the players, from what you've seen, have they understood how big and important this game is? What are they saying in the locker room or at practice right now?
Yeah, they understand how big it is. There's no doubt. But I mean, this is what you build up for and play for, and our guys have that chip on their shoulder. And like I said, we've got to just seize the moment with an opportunity and playing a very quality opponent. It's one of the bigger home games we've had. There's no doubt about that. And when you throw everything from the crowd to the Big Noon kickoff to the recruits and everything, I mean, it's an opportunity for us as a program.
So he said we had to seize the moment with the opportunity. We're playing a big opponent. It's a big home game. We got Big Noon kickoff, and we got these recruits coming in. 5 details. He didn't have to say anything about the recruits, but he said that because that's important. He says that because he knows that this is a domino effect. And if recruits, 17-year-old athletes, if they're seeing that, you have an opinion on that? If they're seeing that, oh man, UCF is growing. They just beat Deion's team. That's huge for his program. He knows that Big Noon kickoff is coming in and it's going to be nationally televised. And these guys, these big name broadcasters and analysts are going to be out there talking about their team for one of the first times. He knows how big of a difference that's going to make for his program. He knows it's a big time opportunity. So he said, this is a big opportunity. We're playing a big time opponent like Florida did when they played against Miami, like Florida did when they played against Texas A&M, 2 ranked teams, and they lost both times, got that ass whooped both times. It's a big opportunity for UCF. It's not as big of an opportunity as it is for Florida. Florida more so is in a place where all the pressure's on them. They honestly could have, with better coaching, they could have been coming into this game against UCF, not next week, but the week after, because they're on a bye week. They could have been coming into that game 4-0, at the worst 3-1. Get that dub, now you're 4-1, and now you get into the toughest stretch of your season. But no, instead, they're walking into that game 2-2. They're a 500 team. They're kind of lucky they beat Mississippi State, because Mississippi State played the Gators better than they played just about anybody else. So, Bert, I appreciate the comment, for sure. I want to build a community where people can share their opinions. And, if it's an opinion that challenges mine, I'll be the first to say that, I'm wrong about something. That happened in one of my videos where somebody said something. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I misspoke. I ain't misspeak, Bert. This is huge. This is huge. UCF is on the rise right now, and their coach knows it. And they have a more experienced coach. So, listen, appreciate the comment, but it ain't no joke ting. All right, I ain't make that up out of nowhere. The Gators lose this game, they're probably going to lose a commitment or 2. These young athletes are probably going to see the Gators program as a program that's in flux. And the only way that these young athletes will say, I'm going to Florida, is if 1, they're just that kind of young kid. They're just that kind of young man. And 2, really most importantly, the Gators hire the right kind of coach that can attract these kind of athletes that they need to get. That's the only way. Other than that, the dominoes are falling. They've already begun to fall. But there's no other game on the Gator schedule where they are college game day material. They're not really primetime, and these young athletes, they see that. All right, y'all. Listen, though, if you got to this part of the video, I appreciate it. Would appreciate it even more if you subscribe, and would appreciate it even more than that if you mess around and share this with somebody. Peace.